okay, so Violet, basically, you had a manager from when you were like 18 on, and he controlled everything that you did, right? Nudies, was it?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
he controlled like what I was allowed to do and stuff like that.
Right.
But he was very like lenient at first, and then it got crazier.
That's how it starts.
Boys is so weird. Yeah. And so then it culminated in he just took all of your Instagram following and gave it to someone else, if that's
Yeah.
correct. That is
Elena
the
Boo.
fucking most annoying thing I've ever heard. I don't know what I would do. I would kick the cat, and I would never do that to her. I would be so irate. If you worked that hard, you would 1.3 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah. No, I had 13 million followers on Instagram.
I'm dyslexic. Math is not my strong suit.
Well, it was like 13.8 or something like that. What the heck? Sorry. Thought it was on mute.
But since you had a contract with them, he basically said, "Okay, well, I own this social media," and then just took all those followers and gave them to someone else. Is that right?
Yeah, he tried to sell it to me. He said that's the only way that I could get it because he had like all of the information, like from the beginning of the account. Like whenever I got with the management company when I was 18, he gave me that account, and then I was posting on it for 6 years. And
you built that following. It has nothing to do with that douchebag.
No.
Right. So
yeah, but he's like, at the end of the day, I'm running a business and yada yada yada. But he's still like, he owes me like a lot of money because when I quit in like the middle of the month, and he also had control over my like OnlyFans, like withdrawing all my money, and then he would pay me after he took his cut. And so he owes me like,
I will never work with a manager ever again. I feel like it's just like a pimp that does less work.
Yeah,
like I will never. No, they don't. And that thing is, my manager in particular, I had no interest really in getting into politics the level that I got into when I was so young. I freshly turned 20, or I freshly turned 21. It was kind of a fluke thing. I didn't really know much about politics other than I was very libertarian for sure at the time. But, like, my main issues were gun ownership, free speech, and less taxes, which I feel like most Americans are. And I sort of got pulled down this wormhole where this I was basically scouted out. And he had this company that he called XCOM Media. The guy was a huge fraud. He would claim that he worked with this person. At one point, I guess he worked with Joy Villa. And he basically would use me trying to get contact. I mean, I did all my work. I pretty much did everything, but he had a lot of influence in the things that I said, the things that I did. I remember I wanted to do videos on certain subjects, but he was very big on... The funny thing about my old manager was that he never actually had a sort of plan for me. He sort of did whatever he could to... I feel like he was trying to get clout himself and money himself at any means possible. And so he would be like, okay, well, you're going to go down this route. Okay, well, you're going to go down this route. It would always change based on what he felt like was trending that day. And I remember it was funny because he really wanted me to work with Alex Jones. I never actually worked with Alex Jones. I was a guest reporter for one time, but he really wanted me to work with Alex Jones. But
he's so hot. I love him.
Not even like 2 months prior to this, he was like telling me, don't say anything about 9/11 being an inside job. Don't say 9/11 conspiracies because you want to make sure the GOP Republicans like you. So he made me do this whole video about how 9/11 wasn't an inside job. And I was just very uncomfortable, but at this point, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was no longer in contact with my family because this was during a time where like families and friendships were being destroyed over politics, and I didn't talk to my family for 2 years. So imagine someone like me who's in her early 20s, knows nothing of the world, is afraid her entire life is going to be ruined because her manager is telling her that he's going to ruin her entire life unless she does what he wants her to. She has no family to go to. It was awful.
At the end of the day, I feel like we're not like, contrary to popular belief, our brains are not just filled with tissue paper. As women, I feel like we know what's best for us. If something doesn't feel right to you, then I feel like you would know better than some idiot who's like, well, don't say this, don't do that. And
I disagree. When I was 20 something years old,
your brain was filled with paper.
Right. I had no understanding of who I was up until maybe 25, 26, which was fairly recently. And at 21 years old, I had no idea who I was or what I believed in. There was no reason I should have been on a pedestal. I was still figuring myself in the world out. And I think he knew that, and he used it and he abused it. The day my family and I stopped talking was the greatest day for him because then nobody could step in and protect me. And
abusers always alienate their abusee from friends and family. So
and I sort of, it really damaged me for a little bit too, the way he treated me, because it made me sort of have this opinion, I guess, of overall conservatives, which has changed a lot since. But I really thought like, oh, my life was ruined because of conservative media, which is not true. My life was ruined because of him, and it also wasn't ruined either. I really shouldn't say my life was ruined, but I went through a lot of issues, a lot of trauma that I'm not going to mention on this show because of him. But I know a lot of wonderful people who are conservative. Even in the cosplay community, I know people who are conservative. I know people who are liberal. I know people who are not political or somewhere in between. And I honestly, I'm at the point where I think being liberal or conservative, we need to stop letting it divide people. Especially after I didn't talk to my family for 2 years because of it. And I consider myself more neutral now, if anything.
I'm very live and let live. I don't care.
Too.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, just let your freak flag fly.
Wait, Violet, I'm sorry. You lost millions of, because you lost millions of dollars.
Right.
I did.
Yeah. That's what Chrissy's saying here. My God.
Well, yeah, with like the platform I lost, I mean, it took away probably a lot of
anyone controlling your OnlyFans that's insane to me. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, you started this whole your career Snapchat, correct?
Yeah. I was a Snapchat girl before the OF.
Right. And then when you wanted to start an OnlyFans, he was like, "No, how dare you?" Right?
Yeah, it was like, because I started in 2018 on Snapchat, and then like 3 months into it, actually, I was like, hey, I should hop on this OnlyFans thing, right? And he was like, are you effing I don't know if I can say it, but
you can say it's retarded. It's fine.
You can?
You can, sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was like, are you fucking retarded? And I was like, okay, never mind. I have such stupid ideas. Like, just stupid old me.
And then come to find out, then he's controlling your OnlyFans.
That's
insane. And taking a cut of it. You're like, well, where was all the money? He's like, well, here's your cut. That's unbelievable to me.
That's really, I'm so sorry that happened to you. When I was on YouTube, my manager controlled my entire YouTube, and he told me that I was demonetized because he was the one who controlled and had access to my whole account. And I basically was like, okay, well, if I'm demonetized, I guess I make no money. The only money I made off of it was when I had sponsorships or like those little advertisement things, which he also took a cut of. I come to find out I was never demonetized. He was taking all the money from my YouTube channel. And I'm talking about millions of views on some of my YouTube videos. So I didn't really get to make a cent off that YouTube. And I was living in poverty. Wow. Like I was
either of you sue? Did either of you think to get a lawyer and be like, I don't think what's going on here is right?
So I found out, I didn't find this out until after he had died of a stroke in 2021.
Oh, good. That's wonderful news.
So, but it was just like when I found out that I was making money that whole time for someone else to take while I was living in poverty, could barely afford groceries, could barely afford to take care of myself. And
so what, all of your money went to his shitty wife and kids or something?
Oh, the man was single, apparently, living in a trailer park and had a gambling addiction when I came to find out later.
Sounds like the type. Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
Did you think to sue, Violet, or?
I
Like-
hired a lawyer, and I don't know why I didn't. I think I was afraid he was going to sue me because he kept telling me that he owns my name, Violet Summers, which my lawyer said that that's not possible because it's like any other porn name, you know, like
Slavery's over, ain't you heard? Like,
yeah,
my
exactly.
God.
I tried to buy
talking
my
about?
name too.
Really? Oh my
So
god.
my original name was a name I
parallel.
had been using on my social media since I was like 16, 17. It was like a nickname I was given. And he tried to trademark that it wasn't my real name anyway, so technically he could have, but he was planning to. But it would be under his name, like he would be ownership of it. And I guess he
Wow.
never went through with it, thank goodness. I was so worried that I couldn't use it anymore, and I found out that he doesn't own it, which is great. But I go by my real name now anyway, so it's whatever.
N-word, Gavin said you're allowed. Violet, I have to say, and I don't use that word because I just can't. Because I'm just like, there would be no reason for me to. There would be no like, but I do agree that words can't hurt you. But when you were on Chrissy's show and Gavin McGinnis came on and you were like, I just want to be able to say the N-word. If
And he was
I
like,
feel like it. He was like, oh, you just go like this. Beep. I died.
He is so great.
Ridiculous. No, I mean, yeah, obviously, I'm a
Unhinged.
huge purveyor of free speech. And also, maybe let's just abolish creepy trailer park managers. Gino is my manager. He's not my manager. But no one has ever tried to buy my name.
I think we should encourage women to, or not even women, just every social media creator in general. We should like teach them how to manage themselves. Because the idea of having a social media manager, as I get older, I'm thinking, why the hell would I need someone to manage my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook?
Exactly.
For me? Like, that's insane. But the thing is, when you are young and you first get into this business, you don't know any better. You think, oh, well, celebrities have managers. You know, all these people in the public eye have managers. Therefore, I guess I should have a manager too. You know, it was
Why did anyone ever offer to be my manager? I feel slighted. I want to be abused by a weird man in a trailer park trying to buy my name. just kidding, guys. Everybody
Well, the reason
now.
why I started with the management company in the first place is because whenever I was had just started like a month in, I like got an Instagram account because I heard it was good for my Snapchat, and my Snapchat and my Instagram account kept getting deleted. And so Nudies hit me up and they were like, hey, like, you don't have to deal with this anymore. We'll make sure you never get deleted.
Right this way, right?
You know, and if you do get deleted, like, we can bring it back. And they were just kind of they were like seeming like they were going to make it really easy for me. And they did for a while. For a long time, actually,
they took your social media from you.
Yeah. They always made it seem like, oh, we're a family. Oh, we have your back. Oh, we love you so much. Like, you know, and it's just all to like keep you around.
That's a really inappropriate thing. We're a family. Get out.
Yeah.
Here.